So 2 weeks ago, I completed 8 complimentary coaching calls for the life designer community. I had posted something on my Instagram, essentially saying that if you wanted a complimentary call, drop this word. I sent people a form. And over that week period, I had those 8 calls. I chatted with YouTubers, entrepreneurs, coaches, full-time employees, etc. And it was so fulfilling and so just great to chat with people that had been supporting my content. But I realized something on all these calls, that there was one common theme, and it didn't matter what these people did for their career. It was still the same questions that were being asked, which was everyone wanted to know, how do they structure their day? How do they structure their day to align with both their personal and professional priorities? How do they make sure that their day is filled with both the things that fill them up while also making sure that they're prioritizing their own business stuff? How do they make sure that they're not neglecting, important aspects of their personal life, etc.? And this was such a light bulb moment for me because I was just so proud, not that people are dealing with this, right, and trying to figure it out for themselves, but I was proud that we have truly built a community of like minded individuals from different backgrounds that are all here with a common theme to want to better structure their day, which, in another way to describe, is they want to design their life. They want to design it in a way that it has intention every moment of every day. And that's the mission that I'm on. So, today, I want to break down how to structure your morning. And I want this to be the first of a mini series. I'm not sure if I'm going to do them in a row every single week for all these solo episodes or if I'll spread them out. But I really want to help people go through the process of structuring their morning on this episode today, their working day, evenings, weekends, vacation. I want to give you the framework on how to structure your day or your life, and I think this will have a tremendous impact and help you all so much. The goal is simple: help each and every one of you design your day to align with your personal and professional priorities, because I think that will truly not only unlock this feeling of freedom and fulfillment and joy and happiness within you, but that also has such a ripple effect on your community and the people you interact with on a day-to-day basis. Think about the people that you know that feel really good and how they have great energy. And every time you come across them, you feel that energy too. Well, if we all lived a life with intentional design, I do think that elevates our energy levels, our consciousness levels, which then ripples into everyone around us, which then has this profound ripple effect for the world where we're all living much more in alignment. And I think that is truly the goal. So, how do we do this? How do we structure our morning? How do we structure our evenings? How do we do any of it? It's simple. We have to take responsibility. We have to understand that we have the ability to be in control with how we're spending our time. So, with that in mind, the morning mindset that I want you all to keep in the back of your mind or the front of your mind is: you win the morning, you win the day. This is the philosophy that I've been living by for years, and it is a game changer. It's not about how early you wake up. It's about filling up your cup first thing every morning. I don't care if you have just 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours every morning for yourself. It's about making sure that we prioritize yourself first before anyone else, regardless if you have kids, if you have a partner, if you live by yourself, if you live with parents. It does not matter. I want to help encourage you all to prioritize your own well-being first before worrying about anything else in the world. So, how to structure your morning? It's 6 simple steps. Simple, 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 simple. I ironed it out like this because I want it to be something that is tangible for all of you to take and run with. First step: choose a consistent wake up time. This kind of, when we think about this, it sometimes can make you trigger or think about being a kid and having your parents wake you up for school, or, if there are times when you had to get up earlier than you wanted to, that's fine. It's okay. But that's what it's all about, is we need to choose a consistent wake up time that we're going to follow through on a daily basis. The reason I want it to be consistent is because it's going to help you build in a routine and a habit of waking up at the same time every day, which eventually, when we get into structuring your evening, is going to help you set you up for success so that you can go to sleep at a certain time, wake up at a certain time, and making sure you're getting plenty of sleep, whatever you identify as the number of hours of sleep you want to get per night. So we need to choose a consistent wake up time. Totally up to you. Don't think that the earlier you wake up, the more successful you'll be. It's up to you. So, for example, my wake up time is 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, like clockwork, I get up at 6 a.m. There's only few instances where if I'm out at an event late into the night, which is very rare, I'll make that exception. I'll get up maybe an hour later than normal. So choose that consistent wake up time. Number 2 is identify important morning rituals and habits, routines, etc. What are those things that fill you up, that make you feel your best self? I really do believe we need to prioritize our personal well-being and habits first thing in the morning for 2 reasons. One, it will help make you feel incredible, unstoppable, energetic for the day ahead. It's going to fill you up. But number 2, as we all know, as the day unfolds, there are certain things that pop up where we have to shift, move our day around, etc. And it's much harder to follow through, I believe, that 6 p.m. workout when by the end of a long day, now you're tired, you're mentally drained, you may feel unmotivated, or you get invited to this dinner last minute. So now you rationalize skipping the workout to go to the dinner. There's just too many factors that could truly take us off track of following through on these habits and routines that are important to us. So I think it's really important, if it works for you and you can carve out the time, to prioritize the mental, physical, spiritual well-being habits first thing in the morning. So for me, I've identified those important morning rituals, which are working out, meditation, and journaling. Those are the 3 that are important for me. It doesn't mean that's what it has to be for you. You have to ask yourself, what are the important routines that I identify as important to me, and write those down. Third step, schedule in your routines. So now that you have clarity on what the routines are that are important to you, you need to schedule them into your day, okay? The reason we want to schedule them in is it's going to create urgency. It's going to give you this healthy pressure to not only wake up, but then to know, okay, I woke up at 6. Now I need to work out at this time. Then I need to meditate by this time, etc. So for example of today's purposes, if I had that wake up time of 6 a.m. and I've identified the meditation, the working out, the journaling as important to me, I might schedule in my routines to look like this. My meditation will be at 6:20 a.m. I like to meditate for 20 minutes, which then means I am going to journal right after at 6:45 a.m., which takes about maybe 10, 15 minutes. And then from there, I'm going to work out at 7 a.m. Now, just because I've scheduled in these routines doesn't mean on the minute I need to be doing them, or it doesn't mean that if I'm ready to meditate at 6:15 a.m., I can't until 6:20. I have to wait for the 6:20 to hit. That's not what it's about. It's about just giving you some structure, some guardrails to follow, to live by. And so you can always adjust in real time. But as you can see, now that I have these routines scheduled in, it gives me peace of mind because I know when to do them, and that creates the urgency, that creates the accountability, the discipline, etc. Fourth step, schedule in the self-care activities, right? So not only have we, and you could call the morning habits, rituals, etc., you call these self-care, but when I say self-care, I'm talking about more so your shower, you brush your teeth, you get dressed, etc. So scheduling those self-care activities, you know it's going to take a little bit of time to get yourself prepared for the day. It doesn't matter if you work from home or you work in an office or whatever you do, still need to carve out time to self-care yourself, right? So in this example, if I'm working out at 7 a.m. and I work out for 50 minutes to an hour, that means that realistically, I'm going to be able to start my self-care activities at 8 a.m. So shower, get dressed. I'm going to schedule that in, whether in a digital calendar, mental calendar, et cetera. 8 a.m. is when I'm going to start these self-care activities. Fifth step, schedule in time for breakfast. Now, if you're someone that fasts or you like a big healthy breakfast, totally up to you. I do fast every morning, but I still think it's important to carve out time for making coffee. So in this example, I might schedule in my breakfast for 8:20 a.m. because the self-care stuff takes me 15, 20 minutes to get ready for the day. Now I'm ready for breakfast. So my breakfast might start at 8:20 a.m. Last and final step, step 6, Schedule in a consistent working time. This is really important. You need to create healthy internal pressure to get started, right? So I work from home. It could be very easy for me to finish eating breakfast at 8:20 a.m., pull up my Instagram, maybe catch up on text messages, check social media, etc. Like there's so many distractions in this world that if I don't have a set start working time, I will procrastinate. I will push things off. So in this example, if I'm having my breakfast at 8:20 a.m., which for me is just a cup of coffee, I'm going to have a set start working time of 8:30 a.m. Once again, that doesn't mean that I need to be starting at 8:30 on the dot, or I can't start earlier, or I should feel bad if I start at 8:35. It's just giving me some structure, some accountability that by 8:30, I want to be sitting down at my desk ready to go. And more often than not, that is the case for me. I'm sitting down at my start working time and I'm ready to go. So those are the 6 simple steps. I do want to encourage 3 rules of the morning. These will be so helpful in making sure that you stay on track with yourself and you don't get distracted. Number 1, no snoozing the alarm. Very easy to do, to keep snoozing, sleep that extra 20, 30 minutes. The problem is when you have built out this schedule and you know when you're supposed to be doing these routines, if you hit the snooze button, you are now behind. You are going to have to probably either skip out on some of these routines, or 2, you're going to continue to push back your start working time, which defeats the purpose of structuring your morning. So when you have structure in your morning, it's going to be easier for you to not hit the snooze button because you know it is time to go. So no snoozing the alarm. Number 2 is no cell phone. Okay. I want you to get in the habit of not checking your phone. Don't wake up, grab the phone, start scrolling in your bed. Don't do that. Wake up, turn the alarm off if it's on your phone, and then go right into your following your morning structure. I've talked about this on social media, on podcasts. I don't look at my phone for the first 3 hours of my morning. That sounds insane. The only reason I look at it is to turn on a podcast, or I will briefly check my texts and make sure that there are no fire alarms, there's no emergencies. And as I just quickly skim and see that nothing is pressing, I just go back to my routines. So I would encourage you, do not use your cell phone. It's just a distraction. All the texts, the emails, the notifications, it can all wait. Use the morning to prioritize you. And the third rule, no skipping habits more than 2 days in a row. So we're human. I get it. There are some days that maybe you're sick, maybe you are just not feeling it, you want to rest, you want to skip the workout. The excuse or the reason is totally valid. It's totally fine. But what I would encourage you is to not skip more than 2 days in a row. And this is outside if it's the weekend, or if you've identified I want to work four days, work out 4 days of the week or whatever. The reason being for this rule is that it is much easier for you to follow through and stay consistent with the habit for a long period of time if you implement no more than 2 days off in a row. Because once you get to 2 days off in a row, it's easier to say yes to 3, then to 4, then to 5, and then you lose all momentum to that habit. So I would encourage you, no skipping the habits more than 2 days in a row. It will make a difference. Common questions when creating structure in your morning routine. What are the essential elements of a productive morning routine? So this might give you some peace of mind. There is no right or wrong. Okay. There is no perfect morning routine that's going to work for every single person. You have to figure out what works best for you. You can take inspiration from some of the habits or the way I've structured my morning from this episode. You can take inspiration from what you hear on podcasts, but you have to give yourself permission to test and see what works best for you. Double click on the things that work good for you, add that in, and remove the things that do not work. But ultimately, for it to be productive is for you to then get to the end of the routines when you're starting your working day and feel good, feel energized, feel motivated, feel inspired. That's how you know you have the right elements. Maybe your morning routine is just simply waking up, going for a 30-minute walk, coming back, reading for 20 minutes, having a cup of coffee, and then starting your day. If you feel mentally, physically, spiritually great starting your day at that point, then keep doing that. If you feel, you do that type of morning routine and you just feel, overwhelmed, and you feel just like anxious, then maybe try something else. You have to give yourself permission to try. So do not think that there are certain essential elements of a productive morning routine. Everyone is different. There's no one size fits all. You need to test and see what works best for you. How do I make my morning routine consistent? It's all about structuring your morning routine, just the way I described in this episode. The more you structure it, the more consistent you'll be, because you'll know when to do what, which gives you this healthy internal pressure to follow through on it. It also gives you peace of mind because you don't have to think about, should I work out or should I meditate? Should I journal or should I start making breakfast? All of that is eliminated. When there is structure in your day, in your life, you just simply follow through on the routines, and that gives you peace of mind. So if you want to stay consistent, create structure, hold yourself accountable to following through on that, and it will make a difference. How long should my morning routine be? This really depends on the individual. I'm not here to say you need a 3-hour morning routine to start your day. You may have kids. You may have a partner. You may need to commute 2 hours every morning to work. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, how much time can I carve out from my morning routine? And oftentimes, if you want to create more time, that just means going to bed earlier so you can wake up earlier. I'm not here to encourage poor sleep habits. I'm not saying, get up an hour early, only sleep 6 hours of the night. I think you need to reverse engineer. If you want to wake up earlier, make sure you're going to bed early so you can prioritize the sleep. I will never encourage people to neglect their sleep, but it really just depends on what are those habits and routines that work best for you. There have been times in my life where I've had this crazy 18-step morning routine. It served a purpose at that chapter of my life. And now it's just very simple, where for the sake of today's purpose, I didn't really include it, but I wake up, I walk my dogs, I make their food, I meditate, I work out, I shower, I make coffee, I journal, I start my day. Simple as that. So don't think it needs to be this long routine. The longer it is doesn't mean the more successful you'll be. You have to just test and see what works best for you. How do I adapt my morning routine when life changes, right? Either seasons of life change or things in your morning get disrupted. You have to be willing to pivot. So, for example, a few weeks ago, our dog needed to be brought to the vet for an emergency checkup. All is good. She's fine. But I had to shift my morning routine to adapt to the situation. And that's okay. If I had to skip the workout or the meditation or the journaling, it's all good. I know that the next day I'll pick up where I left off. This goes back to kind of like don't skip 2 days in a row. There's going to be days where things are off, where things may not go according to plan, and it's all good. I just reset myself the next day, try the routines all over, and get back into the swing of things. If there's a complete life shift, just allow yourself to adapt, to pivot, to make those necessary changes. You have to be willing to flow. Life is a dance. It's not always going to be going perfectly. Regardless of structuring your morning routine, structuring your life, designing your life is a dance. It's about structuring in a way so it gives you, some guardrails, almost like a custom roadmap for you to follow on a day-to-day basis. But you have to understand it's not always going to go according to plan, and you have to be willing to adjust in real time. And last question, can my morning routine affect my mental health? Absolutely. If you prioritize yourself first every single morning before starting your working day, before checking your cell phone or jumping on calls, you're going to show up as a better version of you. You're going to have time to check in with yourself, see how you're mentally feeling, make sure your physical fitness is in check, feeling yourself with proper nutrition before you're starting your day. It will make a difference. You know how toxic and bad it is that I know some people listening right now wake up and they immediately check their phone and start scrolling on social media and spend 30 minutes before even putting their 2 feet on the bed or on the ground. It's so, so bad. And I want to help people bring awareness to the fact that they don't need to keep living like this, that it is disrupting their mental health. So if you create a morning routine that prioritizes your own well-being, it will have a positive ripple effect on your mental health. So with all of that in mind, my challenge for you is this. Take time either right now, and if you have the time right now, please do so, because everything is fresh. Maybe you have the inspiration, or if you don't have the time, do this within the next 24 hours. But I want you to create some intentional structure for your morning. Go through the 6 simple steps that we went through today and become extremely intentional with how you spend your mornings. Understand it's not going to be perfect out the gate. You're not going to figure this out from just a 10-minute journaling sesh. It's going to take time. You're going to have to adjust. You're going to realize some things don't work. Maybe you like working out before the journaling. Maybe you don't want to journal. Maybe you don't want to meditate. You have to just give yourself permission to just test and try and just see what happens. But I also want you to please incorporate those 3 rules in the morning. Those will help set you up for success. If you want to add more rules, please do so. But I think those 3 rules are absolutely foundational and you need to incorporate them. So structure your morning, send me a DM at Bobe, B-O-3-B's, 4 A's and a Y, 4 A's and a Y. Let me know how the structure goes. If you have any direct questions, I am very, very much there to support you. And I'm really excited to kind of hear how this turns out for you. 2 updates for the Life Designer community. Number 1, Life Designer Club is coming, a course and community to help you structure your life to align with your personal and professional priorities. I've developed a course and community that I've taken from essentially all of the topics and questions that I learned one-on-one coaching with all of my clients. I built out a program for those that maybe aren't ready to do one-on-one or financially can't commit to it. Not only is it a course where it's going to have 40 plus modules, 130 plus mini exercises, but it's also going to have a private WhatsApp community and a weekly 1-hour live Q&A with me for those that are in the community that are part of the club. So if that sounds at all of interest, this is launching May 1st. We're right around the corner for the launch. Join the waitlist. Head over to bobbyhobert.com. You will receive an offer, an exclusive offer. If you are on the waitlist, that will be discounted from the public. Once again, if you want to save money, join the waitlist. You will receive a discount better than anywhere else that you will see when it goes live. And I can't wait. And I'm so excited to get you life designers into the club. It's going to be great. The second update, Men's Life Designer Retreat. Can't wait for this. It's going to be here before we know it. I know people love to wait last minute to lock in their spot, but do not wait. This is going to fill fast. And I know as the dates get closer, there's this urgency where people are going to want to finally sign up. This is going to be a transformational experience dedicated to designing a life of purpose, balance, and fulfillment. It is going to be a 3-night, 4-day workshop where we're on site the entire time with a private chef. We're going to do yoga, meditation every morning. We are going to do so much incredible deep work on site. There's no distractions. This is not vacation time. It's going to be hosted here in Austin, Texas at this epic Airbnb, about 30 minutes outside the city, 30 minutes from the airport. You will check in Friday evening, June 21st at 4 p.m. and you will check out 10 a.m. June 24th at 10 a.m. Once again, this is going to be an incredible experience. There are only 15 spots available. As of now, there are only 14 left. We've had one person lock in. Shout out to that person for being proactive. They know that this is going to fill up quick. So if that's of interest, head over to bobbyhobert.com to learn more about the retreat. If you want to jump on a call with me to chat more about it because you are hesitant, all good. You can lock in a call with me and I'm happy to chat given this is the first time I'm offering it. This is going to be great. Men's Life Designer Retreat, June 21st through the 24th. Let's go. With all that in mind, the best way to support this show, screenshot this episode on whatever platform you're listening in on, post it to your IG story, tag me at Bobe. That's B-O, 3 B's, 4 A's and a Y. Whatever platform you are listening this right now, if it's iTunes or Spotify, please drop a review. It takes you all of 60 seconds. It helps the show grow tremendously, and I really, really appreciate it. So if you could leave a review and you have not done so already, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. It's the Bearded Man Podcast.